Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and memory loss is actually so the lining of our gut. Those of you who just watched the U.S. Open tennis tournament, the lining of our gut is the same surface area as a tennis court. And all of us go, what? There's no tennis court down there. Well, in fact, it is the same surface area. And we have a kind of a fatal flaw. The lining of our gut is only one cell thick.
Wow.
And those cells are held together. Those of us are old enough to remember a game called Red Rover, where we all locked arms, 2 rows of kids, and we tried to crash through. It's outlawed now. It's too dangerous. Anyhow, so these cells, everything we swallow is on one side, and on the other side is us, and about 70 to 80% of all of our white blood cells, our immune system, is on the other side of the wall of gut. Why? Because this is where mischief can come across. So normally you've got a pretty good impenetrable barrier, but when lectins, among other things, attach to the wall of the gut, they produce a compound called zonulin that was discovered by Dr. Fasano, and it breaks these tight junctions, these locked arms. So now you've got a space between a gap between these cells. And through that gap come foreign proteins like lectin. You can think of them as splinters. If you think about a splinter under your finger, it gets all red. Pieces of bacteria. Now it's been proven that living bacteria get through the wall of the gut. So that, in essence, is leaky gut. The problem with that is our immune system is, if you will, our border patrol. And they see an invasion, an army coming across, and they go, oh my gosh, we need to sound the alarm. We need to go to threat level 5. We need to scramble the fighter jets, and we're going to go to war. Well, most of us are now convinced that this chronic inflammation that we talk about, and that inflammation is the cause of most of our problems, certainly in chronic disease, that chronic inflammation actually is from leaky gut and our immune system being activated and sending out signals that there's something wrong down here and protect yourselves. Dr. Dale Bredesen, who is a good friend of mine now, who wrote The End of Alzheimer's book, he and I are both convinced that most of dementia, the massive epidemic of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and memory loss, is actually because of leaky gut and correspondingly leaky brain. The really important part of healing our gut, first of all, I think that we should try to avoid agents that are designed to cause leaky gut, and that's been the subject of my research now for 20 years, and these are plant proteins that are called lectins. Dr. Fasano, who used to be at Johns Hopkins, now at Harvard, showed that a lectin called gluten is really good at causing leaky gut and showed the mechanism that happened. And if you think about it from a plant standpoint, plants do not want to be eaten. They have a life, just like animals do, and they want to grow and reproduce and make sure their seeds, their babies are fine, so they have defense mechanisms, and one of these are these proteins called lectins. So we remove lectins from people's diets, and they're in most grains. They're in beans, they're in peanuts, which are a bean, they're in the nightshade family, like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, potatoes, even goji berries are nightshades. Chia seeds have lectins in them. So
you're describing the basic Southern garden.
Yeah. Well, we have to forget, believe it or not, Americans did not eat a tomato until the mid-1800s.
Wow.
They were actually in Italy. They did not eat them for 200 years after their native son Columbus brought them back. In fact, they were called poison apples in Italy.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, and Americans were afraid to death of them because they were part of the deadly nightshade family.